are your top 5 bucket list cruises. Now, for the past 5 years, I personally have spent what is probably an unhealthy number of hours dreaming about and researching your most incredible adventures you can have at sea, right? Also, tried it out as well. I'm talking about everything from the icy alien landscapes of Antarctica to the most over-the-top luxury suites on the water. And I finally narrowed it down. Finally, in this video, I'm sharing the top 5 cruises that have officially made it onto my personal bucket list for 2026, right? Now, this isn't just about pretty places. It's about the kind of travel that really changes you as a person, the kind of experiences you'll be talking about for the rest of your life. I look at everything from those massive city-sized ships that are redefining what entertainment can be, all the way to the rugged expedition vessels built to take you to literally ends of the earth, right? Pretty sure you've seen them on Discovery Channel. I compared the routes, the amenities, the food, and that special something, that feeling of real adventure that makes a trip a true bucket list journey, right? So, what did it take to make that list? First, the destination had to be iconic, a place that just completely captures your imagination. Second, the ship itself had to be a destination offering incredible comfort, service, or a totally unique way to have an adventure. And third, the whole experience had to offer something special, something you just couldn't get from a regular land vacation. Now, this is about more than just a trip. It's about chasing down the lifelong dream of exploration. The cruises on this list span the entire globe, from drenched tropical paradises to frozen, untouched wildernesses of the polar regions. Now, they really are the best of the best, and that's for 2026. Yeah, this year. So, if you've ever found yourself staring at whether a world map or globe and just wondering, this one is actually for you. Gonna help you decide where you want to travel, what you want to see, or at least spark an idea in your mind, right? Now, before we get into this list, I know that planning these kinds of epic, once in a lifetime trips can actually feel just as massive as the journeys themselves, which is understandable. That's why I'm thrilled to have this video supported by Island Vacation Travel Agency, LC, right? They specialize in helping travelers and businesses plan smarter, stress-free trips by taking care of the complex details that you don't want to be bothered with. With their personal touch and global insight, they turn the dream vacation into a reality. Don't forget to check Island Vacation. That is www.island, like island, VACAS.com, right? Check them out. Now, let's get back into this. Let's get into the 5 most incredible cruise experiences I believe exist today, right? That's my opinion. Now, bucket list cruise number 5, the adventure spirit expedition and niche river cruises, right? Coming in at number 5. Yeah, on my ultimate bucket list isn't just one cruise, but a whole actual category that screams exploration, 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 expedition, and niche river cruising. Yes, you heard me right. Expedition and niche river cruising. Very special. This is for that traveler who hears the call of the wind and want quiet, peace, and serenity. The person who wants to see places that aren't just off beaten paths. There are places where there are no paths at all. We're talking about crossing the Panama Canal, seeing the Northern Lights in the Arctic Circle, drifting down the Mekong River, and exploring the last true wilderness, Antarctica. Right? Now, let's start with a true wonder of human engineering, the Panama Canal. I've been there. I had to go see it for myself. For any travel lover, crossing the Panama Canal is actually iconic. It's an iconic experience. It's a historic piece of history that if you ever read about it or actually saw a documentary about it, you'd understand where I'm coming from. It's a journey through history, a slow, deliberate passage that connects the world's two great oceans, right? Just imagine your ship, whether it's a huge modern vessel or could be a small one, being lifted and lowered through the locks, because that's pretty much how it works, right? It's like locks. You're not just a passenger, you're watching one of the greatest achievements of the 20th century happen right in front of you. That is the Panama Canal, right? And those locks bringing the ship out. It's very amazing. The whole time, the surrounding rainforest is just teeming with life, and it's right around you, creating this stunning natural backdrop to an industrial marvel. It's a fascinating and almost meditative experience, guys. A must try. I must recommend. Then, for a completely different kind of immersion, one that's all about culture, we have the great river cruises. I'm not talking about a quick trip on a European river. I'm talking about sailing arteries of ancient civilizations like the Mekong River in southern Asia. Read about it. Mekong River Cruise is a journey straight into the heart of Vietnam and Cambodia. This is, as I told you all, my bucket list. I've always wanted to go to Cambodia and Vietnam, and I've never gotten the chance to do it because the only way to do it is to go down the Mekong River, right? You're sailing past floating markets, ancient temples being swallowed by the jungle, and villages where life moves at the gentle pace of the river itself. Slow, exactly how Caribbean people like it. These aren't mega ships with rock climbing walls and, swings and rides and everything else. They are small, elegant riverboats that can get into shallow waters and dock in tiny towns, giving you amazing access to the local culture. It's an intimate, profound, and deeply human experience. That's the only way to actually get to a cruise like that, right? But the ultimate adventure has to be a polar expedition. If you're drawn to the stark, raw beauty of ice and snow, A trip to the Arctic to see the Northern Lights is almost a spiritual journey. Some people are very fascinated with that, right? Imagine standing on a deck of an ice strengthening ship, miles from any light population. Sorry about that, light pollution, none at all. As the sky just erupts in a silent, dancing symphony of green, purple, and pink. That's the Northern Lights for you, right? Finally, the crown jewel of expedition cruising, the destination at the bottom of the world that's at the top of so many lists. Antarctica, right? This is without a doubt a once in a lifetime journey. Many people don't get a chance to actually travel to Antarctica. This is without a doubt a once in a lifetime journey, guys. The sheer scale and untouched nature of the continent are almost impossible to wrap your head around until you're actually there. Now, I haven't visited there, but I've seen documentaries on it and a lot of research on it. I think right now there's a documentary on, I think it's Netflix, with Will Smith about it. I've been researching about Antarctica for a long time. Imagine kayaking in a quiet bay as penguins sip through the water around you, or taking a Zodiac through a graveyard of giant icebergs. Each one is a real sculpture of blue ice. You see massive penguin colonies, hear the thunderous cracking of the glaciers carving into the sea, and spot seals lounging on ice floes. Some luxury lines, like Seabourn, for example, actually goes out there, have even incorporated Antarctica into their voyages, right? So, besides the different documentaries, this is one of those ways that I got a chance to learn about a lot about Antarctica through researching and doing luxury travel and doing a course for Seabourn. That's the cruise line. They incorporated Antarctica travel and they kind of gave us some behind the scenes books, some videos and stuff. Also, I've always done a lot of research on Antarctica as well, right? Whether it is to do with Discovery Channel or watching the Smithsonian, for example, right? History Channel as well. Now, Antarctica is actually a very, 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 very beautiful place. Antarctica, into those voyages, you could actually experience the raw, untamed wilderness where still enjoying gourmet dining and also incredible service out there when you're on Seaboard. Sorry, I lost the train of thought. I was just talking about that brand, what they offer, right? Because, like I said, they kind of brought the Antarctica voyage and incorporated it into their luxury line. And now you could actually get a chance to go to Antarctica on a luxury yacht. So now you get to enjoy gourmet meals and incredible service while you're out there. So that's what we're trying to kind of explain there to you. Now, for 2025 to 2026 season, Seabourn's expedition, ships like Seabourn Venture and Seabourn Pursuit will run a series of voyages to Antarctica. So if you're wondering what's the name of the cruise ships that will be going out there, the Virtue and the Pursuit will be going out there. That's Seabourn ship. Seabourn Pursuit, for example, is an expedition ship loaded with its own submarines and Zodiacs for serious exploration. The whole experience is just humbling. It's a powerful reminder of the beauty of the planet. That's why this entire category of boundary pushing cruises kick off my bucket list at number 5, right? Because every single one on that list, the number 5, is amazing. Now, we're going to jump to bucket list cruise Number 4, The Last Frontier, an Alaskan wilderness adventure. Love it. Now, climbing to number 4 on my bucket list is a trip that feels like going back in time to a world of raw, untamed nature, a luxury expedition cruise to Alaska. This isn't just about seeing glaciers from a mile away. It's about really immersing yourself in the great land, a place where nature is still in charge. Better believe that. Now, Alaska is a classic, but for my bucket list, I'm dreaming of experiences that goes way beyond the standard tour, mixing rugged wilderness with the comfort of a top-tier expedition. Now, when I picture the perfect Alaskan cruise, I'm on a small ship, first of all, one that can navigate narrow forges, right? And get right up to the face of a towering glacier right next to it. Picture this. You're on your private balcony with a hot cup of coffee. Yeah, wrapped in a blanket as the ship glides silently through a place like Tracy Arm Forge. Not sure if you've ever heard of it. The air is crisp and only sounds are the water lapping against the ship and the distant calls of seabirds while they fly around, right? And then you see it, a massive tidewater glacier, river of ancient blue ice. You watch in total awe as a huge chunk of ice, a process called carving, break off like a sound of thunder and clashes into the sea. I've seen it myself. Yeah. That's a moment you just can't get from a hotel window, airplane, or anything like that. You have to be on a cruise to actually see that. Now, American Cruise Line is one of the few, I think, that actually offers an overnight stay right inside like a glacier bay, like a national park, which is crazy because it's small enough to actually get out there. That is actually an incredible immersive experience. American Cruise Line. Remember that. But an Alaskan bucket list cruise is about so much more than just ice. It's about like wildlife. The dream is actually to be on a ship with a real expedition team, naturalists, and also biologists who know exactly where to look. I can just hear the captain's voice over the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the port side, we have a board of orcas. You rush out on the deck to see those magnificent black and white fins slicing through the water. Later, you might see humpback whales breaching, launching their entire bodies out of the water. That is something I got to experience, and thank God we're on the ship with some great people. That's why I could recommend this cruise to you. Yeah. And of course, an Alaskan bucket list trip would have to include seeing bears. Bears. Bears, guys. Yeah. I saw my fair share of bears. Best believe that. Certainly itineraries that go into less travel areas are famous for their bear populations. Imagine a quiet trip to a riverbank during salmon run, watching from a safe distance as a massive brown bear expertly snatches fish leaping from the water. It's crazy. It's a scene straight out of, I guess, a nature documentary because, yeah, it's amazing. Wonder how the bear could actually catch the salmon with it. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so the ship itself is a huge part of this. I'm not talking about. I'm not looking for a mega ship, like I said. For Alaska, luxury means intimacy and also access. Lines like Limbard Expeditions in partnership with National Geographic and also Seaborn have perfected this. They know exactly how this works. Seaborn has a venture by Seaborn, Ventures by Seaborn program with expert-led expeditions, taking you hiking on remote trails or even kayaking through fields or icebergs. Now, Limbard even has hydrophones to listen to whales' sounds underwater, cameras to see what's happening beneath the waves, so you could actually immerse yourself. Now, this combination of breathtaking landscapes, once in a lifetime wildlife encounters, and intimate luxury of a small expedition ship is what puts Alaska firmly at number 4. It's a journey to the last frontier, one I absolutely enjoyed. That's why I could recommend it. Now, a trip like an Alaskan expedition involves a lot of moving parts, right? If you love diving deep into details of destinations like I do, you should check out Island Vacation Travel Podcast and support us, right? Start with global insight for smarter travel. And when you're ready to make it a reality, the team at Island Vacation Travel Agency provides that personal touch to make the entire process stress-free and also seamless, right? Now, we have number 3 on the list. Bucket list cruise number 3, the cradle of civilization. An immersive Mediterranean voyage. Securing the number 3 spot, guys, on 2026 list is a journey that as much, I mean, this was one of the last cruises I actually went on when I worked on a cruise ship. That's how I could recommend it. So it has a soft spot in my heart, because then I came back to the western side of the world, right? So I did go back to England, but I came back. Anyway, carrying the number 4 spot on the 2026 list is a journey that's as much about time travel as it is about geography. An immersive small ship cruise through the Mediterranean. I'm not talking about a frantic 7 port in 7 days kind of tour and all that kind of stuff. No. My dream is to see the Mediterranean the way it is meant to see, or to let you all know how it is meant to see, slowly, intimately, and with a deep appreciation for history, culture, and of course, food, right? This means going with a luxury line like Azamara, Silver Seas, or even Ponant, right? Whose smaller ships can slip into the charming, less crowded ports the mega ships can only sail past. So when they're with Norwegian Cruise Line, we could have seen certain things, but those ships actually could go and navigate even to smaller towns and enjoy food spots even better. Now, the heart of this bucket list cruise is, I'd say, Greece. Yeah, Greece would probably be the heart of this bucket list cruise. Imagine waking up not in some huge industrial port, but anchored in the caldera of Santorini. Yeah, with those iconic whitewash village climbing, clinging to the cliffs just above you. Santorini is beautiful. I've been to Greece a few times. Santorini is amazing. I mean, because you on a small ship, you can arrive early before the crowds and wander the alleys of high if I pronounce that right, OIA, in the soft morning light. Now, the dream itinerary would also explore like lesser known gems like tranquil islands like Patmos or the hidden medieval fortress towns of Monteficia. Hope I pronounced that right as well. The key here is actually time. Luxury lines like Azmar are famous for their destination immersions. That's their concept, which includes late night stays and even overnights in ports. That is fun, right? And that's a total game changer as well. It means you're not rushing back to the ship at 4 p.m. That's how you get left on a port. Guilty, right? Instead, you can enjoy a leisure dinner at a seaside tavern in Mykonos as the sun goes down. That's the pleasure of when you're in the Mediterranean on a small ship that could actually slow down everything. That's what Azamar offers, right? Now, yeah, Azamar is Royal Caribbean's luxury line. Now, you get to actually experience the local nightlife, not just watching it from the deck of the ship while it's sailing away, which is most times what you actually experience. And a lot of people only experience overnight in places like Bahamas. That's no fun. You want to be in Europe when you get to overnight. That's one, right? Or in the Caribbean. Now, from Greece, the journey would continue to Italy, where again, the small ship is everything. Instead of docking an hour away and taking one of those tender boats, you can cruise right along the Amalfi coast right there with the scent of lemons in the air and just drop your anchor off Positano, right? You could even sail up the Guadalquivir River. I'm horrible with the words, man. Horrible with the pronunciation today. And dock right in the heart of Seville, Spain, which is awesome. An experience only possible on a small ship. You can't really do that on a huge cruise ship. The ship on this dream cruise is a sanctuary. Think of lines like Explorer Journey, or even lately, a lot of people are very aware of it, the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection. They travel out there, right? These are less like cruise ships and more like a super yacht. Explorer one is all about slow travel with a focus on wellness and incredible food across its 9 restaurants. The Ritz-Carlton collection feels like a private yacht, dropping anchor in hidden coves. Yes, after a long day exploring ancient ruins, coming back to this level of comfort is what makes a bucket list experience. That's what you want it to be like. It's about savoring a perfect glass of wine, overlooking a historic harbor, and getting lost in the ancient streets of Europe, right? It's a journey that feeds the mind, the body, and also the soul, and worthy holder of the number 3 spot to me, right? Now, we're getting there. Number 2 for my bucket list cruises, the ultimate playground, a modern Caribbean masterpiece. Of course, we have to put the Caribbean in there. Taking the converted number 2 spot on my bucket list is cruise destination, a destination all by itself. A week in the Caribbean on Royal Caribbean's groundbreaking icon of the seas. That cruise ship looks crazy on the water. Amazing. While my other picks are more about remote destinations and quiet explorations, this one is about embracing the sheer unapologetic fun and spectacle of the world's largest and most innovative cruise ship, Icon of the Seas by Royal Caribbean. The Caribbean has always been a classic, but with this, the destination is almost secondary to the ship. That's how crazy it is. Icon of the Seas isn't just a ship, it's a floating city of adventure. My dream here is to experience a vessel that has a totally redefined with a vacation at sea can be. At the top of my must-to-do list, Thrill Island, home to Category 6, the largest water park at sea. I'm talking 6 record-breaking water slides, including the tallest one on any cruise ship. That's crazy. But that's not all. It's the kind of fun you normally plan a whole theme park trip for, whether it be Royal Caribbean or wherever it may be. It's just an elevator ride away from your room once you're on the ship, right? Then you have Chill Island, which is exactly what it sounds like, with 7 different pools, more than any other ship actually has on it. I can just picture myself at a hideaway, a beach club with a suspended infinity pool 135 feet above the ocean. But maybe the most stunning feature is the aquadome. This giant geodesic dome at the front of the ship has a 55-foot waterfall and a theater where acrobats and divers perform against panoramic ocean views. But by the day, it's a quiet lounge. By night, it's a mind-blowing show, and you want to experience that one. That's when you see that's at the front of the ship, that big glass at the front of the Iconic of the Sea. That's where that show takes place. Of course, it's still a Caribbean cruise, and a key stop is Royal Caribbean's private island, perfect day at Coco Cay. This isn't just a beach day, it's an extension of the cruise epic scale. The island has the tallest water slide in North America and a helium balloon that takes you up to 450 feet up for insane views of Bahamas, the surrounding islands, right? Now, for my bucket list last trip, I'd spring for Cocoa Beach Club, an exclusive area with overwater cabanas and also an oceanfront infinity pool. Now, the 7-night itinerary also takes you to fantastic ports like Costa Maya, and that's in Mexico, or St. Thomas and St. Martin. Great place for shopping, right? And it's also famous for the beaches as well. Beautiful, amazing beaches. On St. Martin, you have that airport where you pretty much can almost touch the plane when it's landed. St. Thomas is an American island, so it's beautiful out there. Plus, with over 40 different places to eat and drink on board that ship, it's actually a culinary journey in itself. Now, what makes this a true bucket list experience is that it's the cruise you dreamed of as a kid, but with the sophisticated touches you want as an adult. It's about waking up and deciding between ziplining across the ship or lounging in an overwater cabana. It's a vacation where the world's bottom just doesn't apply at all. That ship does not have bottom on it. For its sheer ambition, innovation, and commitment to fun, Icon of the Seas is my number 2. Right? Now, bucket list numero Uno, number one, the ultimate Odyssey, a full worldwide cruise. That would be my number one on the bucket list, right? And now we've arrived at the number one spot. This is the big one, the absolute pinnacle of all travel deals to me. My number one bucket list cruise for 2026 is a full world cruise, the whole world. Yes, going around the whole world on a cruise. This isn't a vacation, it's a life-altering odyssey. When you come back, want to be different. The idea of unpacking your bag one time and over months, waking up to a new country, a new continent, a new wonder of the world. It's the most incredible travel fantasy I can imagine. That's just me, right? I got close to that working on the ship. I can imagine if I didn't have to work, it'd be bananas, right? From a floating city of fun to the ultimate global odyssey. The logistics can get complicated. Managing the details like getting to and from the port for a trip of this magnitude is actually crucial. That's why having a partner like Island Vacation Travel Transport is a game changer. As part of the Island Vacation Travel family, we ensure your journey is seamless from door to port and back. It's all part of the smarter, stress-free planning that the parent company, Island Vacation Travel Agency, is known for, right? And you could actually check that out on their website. The gold standard for this stream was Royal Caribbean's ultimate world cruise on the Serenade of the Sea. It was an unbelievable 274-night adventure that visited all 7 continents, over 150 destinations, 65 countries, and 11 wonders, right? That is crazy. Can you imagine traveling for that? Wow. 274 nights, 150 destinations, 65 countries, and 11 world wonders. That is amazing. Yeah, wow. Now, while that specific sailing is over, it sets the bar for what a world cruise could be. And it's the blueprint for more ultimate dreams, for my ultimate dreams. Just think about it. Think about the scope. You'd start in Miami, head down to South America to see fireworks over Copacabana Beach, and then venture to Antarctica. Then you sail to see the wonders like Machu Picchu and Chichen Itza before crossing the Pacific to explore the French Polynesia Islands, New Zealand, and Australia, perhaps. Let's see. Then the journey will continue through probably Asia with chances to see the Great Wall of China and the Taj Mahal. Then you'd visit the Middle East to see the ancient city of Petra, crossing the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean. Yep, that's how you get back in to see the Colosseum in Rome and the pyramids of Giza, and finally crossing the Atlantic back home. And that's going around the world pretty much. Yeah. Of course, other luxury lines offer these incredible journeys. Regent Seven Seas has its 2026 World Cruise, so you could check that out if you're ever interested in that. The Senses of Adventure, a 154-night voyage that visits 41 countries. Now, with Regent, it's all inclusive. Yes, you heard me right, meaning flights, excursions, dining, everything is taken care of. for you. For a more intimate vibe, Azamar 2026 World Cruise on board Azamar Onward is 155-night journey. Plan to visit 36 countries, including all 7 wonders of the world. So we have some options right here. Now, you spend months with fellow travelers and also the crew. Don't forget the crew, creating this temporary global community. It becomes your home as you explore the planet. That sounds fun, right? The price tag for something like this is, as you can imagine, astronomical. Often hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, it costs quite some money. But that's why it's the very top of a bucket list. My bucket list. It's more than a cruise. It's a sabbatical from ordinary life, literally. It's a chance to see the world's greatest marvels in a single, continuous, glorious journey. It is the undisputed champion of travel dreams. And that's why a full world cruise will always be on the top of my bucket list. Yeah, now there you have it. My top 5 bucket list cruises for 2026. Now we've started pure adventure on expedition with river cruises. At number 4, we went to the last frontier in Alaska. And number 3 took us to the cradle of civilization in the Mediterranean. Number 2 was the ultimate floating background icon of the seas. And number 1, the grandest dream of all, a full world cruise. Now, as you started dreaming about your own list, remember that turning those dreams into reality is easier with the right partner. Planning is actually the key. Vacation Travel Agency has the global insight and also the personal touch to help you and your group or your business plan your own smart, stress-free adventure. Be sure to check them out. They'll be waiting to actually help you. Now, I really want to hear from you guys. This is my personal list. Just my personal list. But everyone's travel dreams are different. Some of what's on my list, I have already done. But it's my bucket list, so I wanted to share it with you guys. What's on your cruise bucket list? Let me know in the comments. Is there a destination I missed? What do you think? A ship you're dying to sail on? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I can't wait to see what incredible journeys you're all dreaming of. If you've enjoyed this and look at the world of bucket list cruising and you want more travel inspiration, cruise reviews, and tips to help you plan your next own adventures, please give this video a huge thumbs up. It really helps the channel more than you actually know. And of course, if you haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep exploring, and safe travel.